This is Rob Tebbutt from Behind the Gloves. I'm here with the Jackal in the fighting city of Belfast, Carl Frampton, ahead of his bout with Nonito Donaire. How are you today, Carl?
I'm doing good, yeah, good turnout, so I'm excited about the fight.
Just talk to us a little bit about the fight. Obviously you're facing a 4-weight world champion in Nonito Donaire. Exciting fight for the fans.
It's an exciting fight for the fans, and it's an exciting fight for me. It's a fight that almost has a bit of an edge to it. It has me on edge, a little bit fearful of an opponent because of his devastating knockout power, but I think that it's going to be a driving force in training for myself, and I think that, yeah, I'm going to be ready for the fight, and I'm going to put in a career best performance.
Now you two have been hovering around the same sort of weight classes for a long time. This is a fight that's been been called for by fans for a long time. Now it's taken a different turn in the sense of, I think it's a good fight for both of you at this stage of your career. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a must-win for both guys, and the winner of the fight certainly goes on to fight for a world title in the fight after. So a lot on the line, but that makes it more exciting. And we've got a long lead up. I think about 13 weeks to go until the fight. So yeah, there's a lot riding in this fight for both guys.
Now you mentioned the long build up to the fight. Obviously this is your second fight with trainer Jamie Moore. Is that important for you to get that extra time with him in the gym in preparation for this fight?
Look, of course, you know, obviously we're trying to do things out and I'm working on different things in the previous fight with Horatio Garcia, but everything needs to be perfect in this fight, and I can't be trying things that I've never done before in a fight with someone like Nonito Donaire. So I think it was good for us to have that first fight, and that's happened, and it was a good fight. It was a hard fight, and it's a fight that's getting me ready for this. And yeah, it's going to be a better camp, I think, this time. We've been more used to each other already, so it can only be better.
Now, something that came up in the press conference, obviously it would have been lovely for you to make your return and a spectacular second or third round knockout. In hindsight, it's something that Jamie touched on. Do you feel the benefit, or do you think you will feel the benefit of those grueling rounds with somebody like Horatio Garcia?
I think so. It's what I needed, and you know, what's the point in a knockover job? It's not going to really mentally get you ready for a fight. It's not going to physically get you ready for a fight. You know, you've been training hard and you've been doing everything in the gym, but you go and knock a guy over in 1 or 2 rounds. There's no point in them fights for me at this stage of my career. I want fights that are getting me ready for the big guys, and the fight with Garcia is certainly going to push me in the right direction for a fight with Nonito Donaire.
Now you were somewhat critical of your performance after the Horatio Garcia fight, beg your pardon. Something that you alluded to on stage, which actually made me laugh. You said about people giving you stick who live in their mum's front room and stuff. Yeah. Now you've had time to settle down on the performance. What do you make of it now, if you're looking at it objectively?
It was an okay performance. It was good. There's been better performance, but I think it wasn't as bad as I initially said and thought after the fight. So yeah, it was a good performance. I was trying things out. I was working on different things, and yeah, I thought it was a good performance. There was things that I'd done very well. The first half of the fight was some of the best boxing I've done my whole career. Second half, maybe got lulled in and brought into a fight a little bit. These things happen, but again, that was against a fighter, Horatio Garcia, who I could try different things out against, but you know, I'll need to be on it for this fight.
How much of that do you think was the inactivity, and how much of that do you think was fighting in front of Belfast? I mean, I know you've been desperate to come home and fight in front of your hometown fans. Did that come into it at all?
Of course, everything came into it, and everything played its own little part. But yeah, it was a big fight for me, and it wasn't a great year. I didn't have a brilliant year, and obviously there was maybe things going on in my head that. But look, I got to win. I got my hand raised at the end, and now this is the fight that I'm focused on.
You talk about not having a great year last year. The year before, you were the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year. Something I spoke to Jamie Moore about. How important is this fight against a fighter like Nonito Donaire to re-establish yourself as one of the best fighters in the world?
Yeah, it's going to shut the doubters up and prove them wrong. So yeah, it's an important fight that it gets me ready for a world title. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And just finally, Carl, because I do appreciate your time, just give a message to fans who are going to be tuning in on April the 21st to watch you fight Nonito Donaire.
I think that a couple of builds being talked about on the same night. If I was a boxing fan, this is the build I'd be watching.
Say no more. Carl the Jackal Frampton, thanks very much for speaking to Behind the Gloves. Look forward to catching up with you soon.
Cheers, man.
Hey, fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking right here.